Hi guys, it's Stock Trader Max here and welcome to another video where today we're going to be analysing the S&P 500 followed by the Nasdaq 100 and the Bitcoin price charts. But before we do so, as always, anyone who's interested in joining my Signal team, then make sure you visit my website, dailymarketmovements.com. If you're watching this video on YouTube right now, then I've left the website link in the description of today's video. You can sign up for a very small fee of just over $20 and this will give you access to my Telegram group chat where I share all of my trades, all of my macro research, as well as gaining access to the Investors Lounge where I post updates on the current positions that we have open over on Telegram, as well as the educational hub where you can learn how I trade. It teaches you all my setups, all of the indicators that I use on a day-to-day basis. But with that being said, let's get started here. Let's just quickly have a look at the economic calendar. Today we had some series of data that was announced. We had the ADP non-farm employment change, and it came in at 233,000 versus 110,000 expected, so more than 100% increase versus the forecast here. So very positive for the private job market. But that being said, the ADP numbers, I've never really give too much respect to them because they don't really, I don't know, they're a very volatile source of information or insight with regards to the jobs market. So I don't really pay too much attention to it. It's more the non-farm payroll figures that obviously steals the headline. And then finally, if we just look at the GDP coming slightly softer than expected, 2.8% versus 3% forecast. GDP was running pretty hot going into this print. I was quite surprised that the forecast was 3%. I still think that 2.8% is still good enough, although it didn't beat expectations, but it's still certainly good enough. But with that being said, let's have a look at the charts. S&P 500 trading in the red ever so slightly, down 0.23%, trading at 5,828. It is still, in my own humble opinion, that we currently find ourselves trading within this third wave, and I think that this is, this is certainly an area, 6,000, where we are going to aim to target before the end of the year. It could be post-election, it could be in the month of December. I'm not entirely sure when we will hit it, but I'm very confident that we will. We have earnings season this week, obviously. We heard from Google, for example, yesterday. That stock's up 5% in the after hours. And then we start to hear from the likes of Meta, Amazon and Apple over the next week or so. So lots of earnings to come, and obviously that is going to ultimately cause some volatility in this market. But I still believe that the US election next week is going to be the main catalyst as to where this market goes next. Some are arguing for a pullback, as we have been quite extended going into the US election, and that makes a lot of sense to me. If we saw a 5 to 10% pullback in the month of November before then accelerating up towards 6,000 in December, then yeah, sure, that makes a lot of sense and I'm all for it. We'll offer a fantastic buying opportunity, or at least a retest of the 50-day EMA. If we were to go into decline to that price area, it takes us down, probably like 3 or 4%. But let's just quickly go over to the Nasdaq 100. Nasdaq 100 surged yesterday. We're nearly at that all-time high territory, currently trading at 20,525. So we nearly hit that brand new all-time high during yesterday's trading session. We didn't quite get there, but again, similar to the S&P 500, it is, in my own humble opinion, that we're trading within this third wave, which takes us to around 21,600. I think that we get there post-US election. Finally, guys, looking at Bitcoin, we come so close within touching a brand new all-time high during yesterday's trading session. We were $200 away from hitting the highs that we achieved back on the 14th of March 2024, so just over 6 months ago. But we have clearly broken out of this consolidation. Maybe we're just going a little bit lower during today's session, trying to search for some liquidity. It's probably just the market makers are up to their old tricks. But ultimately, this market's going high, guys. And I think that we're going to go and hit a new all-time high, perhaps even before the US election. And then post-US election, providing that Trump gets elected, I think this market screams higher. And it really won't take long until we get to $90,000 to $100,000 a coin. So yeah, really like the setup here for Bitcoin breaking out. If we just look at MicroStrategy as well, a very similar pattern. We had been consolidating since March, where we ultimately broke out a few days before Bitcoin actually, and since then we've just screamed higher. So Bitcoin still has to do some catching up here to catch up with MicroStrategy, but very positive indeed. That's going to wrap it up for today's video, guys. Don't forget, if you'd like to join my Signal team, then make sure you visit my website, dailymarketmovements.com. Charge a very small fee of just over $20 to join.